I would like to bring onto the stage Jonathan from Kynection, Director and Founder of Kynection, Mark, an IT Specialist from Kynection, along with Dane from Pipe Management Australia, and Michael from KONE. Today's conversation is around knowledge, and we've had a few conversations today about the power of AI, but if you've noticed a few times, people have talked about the fact that AI is only as powerful as the data that is underpinning it and supporting it. And this is a conversation today about the necessity and power of having the right knowledge in your systems. Over to you, Jono.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. So Kynection has two great customers on the stand, and it's a privilege to interview them about the way that we've actually helped them and implement systems, and we'll put some shorts together to show that, which we'll get into. So basically, yeah, as we said sort of yesterday as well, that Kynnection's all about creating the one system for knowledge and real-time asset equipment, and that's what we're going to be focused on today with PMA, with Dane, and also with Michael in regards to asset management and assets that we have in the workforce, and how we actually then tie all those together. So the products that we're going to be covering, we're going to be covering real-time data in the field when it comes to lone worker situations. Bit of a surprise there, so if you're a little bit sleepy, get ready. And AI camera systems in the one place as well. So that's like, I don't know if you've ever heard about DMS, so that's driver management systems. Many of you might have a car there that won't let you, cruise down the road without having your hands on the steering wheel or looking at the road, or, it might ping you when you're looking at your phone. Where's Tesla Phil? Tesla Phil's a good one for that one at the moment. He's not all that happy with his upgrade in his Tesla because he can't drive along on his phone anymore. And then the other one's ADAS, which is helping the driver and assisting the driver as they're driving the vehicle, giving them real-time feedback from the field, the peripheral, what the speeds are, if you're speeding, close mismanagement in there, things that, as an organisation you probably wouldn't get to see unless you had cameras in the vehicle. So it's and it's really good for insurance as well, and does save you money on that side. So there's lots of assets on that. The time data, lone worker systems are amazing that we've implemented with KONE. You'll get a demonstration with. Safeguarding the workforce in the field. Also saving on the amount of field operations people together. And so basically your best buddy's in your pocket and it's your phone, which is your lone worker. It's just the next level. And I have to say, like, KONE developed that at the time when I started with Kynection, or at the time back then, and it's so good to see that we're still even working on that program now still, and we're always innovating it and improving it as well, and that's what we always do at Kynection. We're always innovating and improving what we already have. Integration workflows and management of real-time data, like I said before, it's always part of everything that we always have a part of. So PMA came to us with a few problems. Obviously, real-time asset visibility in the field. That was one of the things that there. And basically, do you want to take over from here and have a chat about some of the key things that why you came to Kynection? And
yeah, for sure. So I'm Dane Harkness, work for Pipe Management Australia, and responsible for the implementation of Kynection as a system. As part of the system, we do have the camera, in-vehicle cameras that collect data. Since introducing these, we've certainly had a better response to, incident investigation, post-incident, and preventive incident as well. It gives us ability to have real-time overview of our assets in the field, and the ability to reallocate jobs or jobs to actually assets when required. We do deal in a very dynamic environment where we do need to respond to emergency call-outs and emergent works that appear at late notice. So having a system that links back through to the suite of Kynection actually enables better allocation of resources to jobs. Particularly incident investigation I think is a big one that we did have a previous camera system but didn't have forward-facing cameras. And we've since had a couple of, I guess, road incidents where the camera has proven that we weren't at fault. Not having that wouldn't have resulted in that outcome. So it does a great deal in terms of protecting the driver and also our assets at the same time.
Thank you. Now Mark's done a sensational job putting together a bit of a guide video again, so get ready for the accent, and then also got a video of it actually in operation. So should then kick it off.
Kynnection's camera systems are not just a convenience, they are a necessity. Capturing all footage using AI cameras, however, filtering pushing event-worthy footage straight to the cloud to ensure safety of drivers and other road users is guaranteed. Our GPS units empower our clients to track the location of their high-value assets at any time. We offer a range of GPS hardware options, including both wired solutions and devices powered by long-life batteries to suit different needs and scenarios.
So I'll just talk over. Can you hear me? Yep. So basically this is the camera portal that is standalone to what is available in our system. And it will basically pull all of the trips and data from the cameras in the cabins, basically. So as Jono suggested, it's forward facing to the road and also in cabin facing as well. So it'll pick up events such as speed warnings, harsh braking, harsh cornering, just to mention a few. As you can see, Courtney had somebody cut him off and wasn't too happy about it. And that's just one of the things that'll be picked up using the camera. So that actually used a panic button in the actual car where he was able to flag that happening in front of him and react quickly. That would have also have been something that was picked up via the events-driven camera system that will then have pushed that to the cloud. So basically, to touch on what it does, it has got that old legacy SD card process,
TrackView module offers a consolidated,
but it's
unified
pushing it
view of
automatically to the
telematics
cloud as well.
It aggregates data from all available telematics sources, including third-party hardware, as long as accessible APIs are provided. This allows for seamless integration and centralized monitoring of telematics data in one singular dashboard, enhancing visibility and operational efficiency. From this left pane, you can see all of the items available within this module. Within this short demonstration, we will be focusing on trips and safety events captured via our smart AI cameras. Once in the trips view, you can click on the event and see the events tracked during the trip details. Navigate to trips. Within the trips view, we also have the capability of seeing total trips by day and week.
Basically, this is showing the information which is connected to every single trip captured on the camera footage. So you can either have it as a singular trip, or you can collate, say, a day's worth of trips if they've done multiple heavy vehicle trips, or combine a week's worth of activities from that vehicle. So that will allow you essentially to see where they've been, where their events have been tracked along that journey, and pinpoint in a view on the web view as to what those crucial items are, plus have them filtered by type.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's it. So basically it's a huge offering that we have for our clients in that they can have hardware offerings that also can be telematics provided by Kynection, or we can integrate third-party telematics from, say, inbuilt OBS systems from the actual excavators as an example, so Caterpillar, Hitachi, whatever, or provide our own telematics. But yeah, pulling it all into one source as a source of data is our big key piece. Instead of, as I said, with everything in this whole thing, we don't want to have multiple portals that you are accessing individual siloed information. So pulling it all into one is our key.
And yeah, so pulling that all together, having the portal, pulling third-party GPS and camera systems in as we do, innovators in that market, trying to put it all back on the one system in the one portal. This is how we help PMA with the outcomes of the asset management in real time. That's where we improve the fleet utilisation out there as well. Look, it's still not finished 100%, to be honest. Like, the next stage is what we're going to be doing is automatic maintenance systems based on the camera mileage that's pulling in, and also time of maintenance. That's all coming in the system. We've got that currently with GPS units. The camera system that is there. We're just building that at the moment in the background as well. This helps, reduce maintenance costs because you can be more across it. Increase compliance with safety standards, obviously, because you can see what's going on real time in the field. One thing I didn't put on there now is we can actually even stream the cameras. So we can set the cameras up that can be actually like small video cameras, and you can actually stream from wherever they are. So we actually now have customers that position their cars strategically around building sites, and then they can actually monitor if there was an incident, what coming in and coming out. So you actually don't need fixed cameras anymore. You can actually have mobile cameras in the cars and the trucks. Optimised resource allocations. We use the AI for driving scores. So there's some things that some of our customers do use and don't use. For example, you can use the system to actually have your own driving score. So every time you jump in the vehicle, we connect to your phone so it knows who you are, and you can actually get your own driving score, and then we can gamify driving safely. That's another thing we can do as well. And then maintenance insights and improve accuracy for reporting. And anything else that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, look, I think it's certainly an uplift to the old type camera systems we had around. It certainly benefits it, pushes it up to the cloud, and you have the ability to remote access it. So it gives you the ability to have that real-time investigation should an incident occur or a complaint come through, or it gives you the ability to make those real-time decisions and basically review incidents, and that goes a long way to preventing issues at the same time as investigating them as well.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to go across to KONE, the loan worker system. So we'll go across to here. So like I said, KONE's been a long-time customer of Kynection, doing some great innovations there. We've got the loan worker systems, one of the things that we do for KONE, but we also do all the asset and tracking and the management on site of the utilisation of assets in the travelators and elevator business. Large field staff, over 1,500 sort of guys in the field. So it's a lot to manage. Even just in the way of devices, it's a lot to manage, trust me. The operating system upgrades and stuff like that. Mark's got his handful. That's why Mark's on the stage. He's like he's a customer success manager for KONE, and he has weekly meetings with them to make sure everything's working okay. We also had the regulatory compliance, which is a massive one, linking back to swims and things like that, which are really complicated in the workforce. Field technician access and dynamic rostering. So Michael, would you like to have any other comments?
Yeah, thanks. KONE's actually been a partner or a customer of Kynection for many years now. I was trying to reflect on it yesterday as to how many years that was, and I couldn't put a number on it. It's been that long, so...
Connie would say, but it's about 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
11.
11, there you go. So that's just a fraction of what Kynection actually does with KONE. I was thinking about this yesterday as well, and it's really deep in our business now. So as part of our onboarding for any new staff or technicians in the field, we actually have this as almost number one in our onboardings, because it's an element of safety and how we control that with our staff as well. So yeah, it's a very useful tool, and the development and the work that we do with Kynection is very dynamic as well. So it's often when I travel to a new place or go and meet someone in the field, they're like, well, why don't we do this in Kynection? So they're always looking for the next development opportunity as well. So it's that usability, I think, that they find so natural now after doing their safety in it for so long, that they relate to the tool and find it quite easy to use.
Excellent. So yeah, we'll put a little video together to show what it's all about. So have a look at this. Let's go back.
Yeah, I can quickly talk a little bit why Safer Work exists, or you want to play the video first?
It should be playing.
Okay.
Technicians will only be tracked to their location services and be a person who receives...
I think I'll talk over the information that's coming up on the screen, but basically there's a rostering process. With Safe at Work, it's basically only tracking people for what they are doing within their roster. So this is just the initial setup of the individual roster of every single technician. Basically on the web view there are alerts. So I'm not sure if we can pause the video, but Safe at Work as an overall concept is a means to make sure that people are safe during high-risk activities. So as we're running through this, it's just setting up that I am about to be doing a high-risk activity in a lift shaft where I could be in danger. A big key function of our system is that it works offline. Obviously, elevator shafts, connectivity, few and far between. So it needs to be able to obviously be in connectivity to start, and then you will be essentially going off on a timer to say, I expect this activity to be finished after a set amount of time. If that hasn't had an acknowledgement from the technician within that period, it will notify people to check in on that person that they are okay. Sorry, we can hit play again.
Activity expiring soon.
A few moments later.
After 2 minutes has lapsed and no response is received in app from a technician, an audible alert will be added to the original device, and an alert is sent to
This is just to show the scenario of picking the 5 closest technicians, then it will just basically disperse and then check in on those 5 closest technicians to see if that person is in danger, hasn't responded, alert initiated, and yeah, it's then the individual's responsibility to follow it up. Whether that be make a phone call or say that I have tried to make contact but failed is a huge requirement of what KONE needed out of Kynection. Was this is a huge gap in the market to be able to provide this safety management system, well, component.
As part of KONE's usage of our system, sites and assets need to be imported seamlessly between SAP and Kynection, this allowing their technicians to log forms and data within the system. Funnily enough, KONE have elevators installed in this very building.
Probably noticed them.
Please find the data accessible in SAP relevant to lifts installed within Pullman Melbourne on the Park. Within KIM, the same site was integrated into our system. Forms are then added and linked to the site and assets. You can then click through to the asset to see specific details. This asset data is again integrated from SAP, both new and updated records. All crucial data is visible against the asset available to the technician on both web and mobile. A key function of KONE's use of KIM is to capture their risk assessments. This shows a high-level overview of the forms captured. KONE also rely on the system to provide policies, procedures and data sheets to their technicians to assist in accessing crucial data relevant to their daily works completed.
From the mobile application, the same data is accessible as on web. The below example shows how easily technicians can access policies and procedures on the go, and also log forms against projects or assets based on the business stream worked within.
4 key requirements really. So obviously that's safe at work, being able to have those technicians be able to access crucial data to allow them to do their job safely, as well as just data capture against their relevant items. So whether it be a project for a new setup of a elevator or escalator, or an asset for servicing. But Michael, anything to add on that?
I think it's very good. The SAP information is more data into the system, but we're getting a wealth of data coming out of the system as well. So when technicians populate the forms, they may do a risk assessment, they may do a defect report inside the tool. We can now extract that and use that in our data visualization and analytics to help us with making decisions in the future as well. So we've got one form that we use inside the tool that reports deviations or sort of non-conformance, that can help us go back to the factory and optimise our product that we're installing as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, so obviously having all this together with the lone worker, we've got enhanced response times, reduce a huge amount of downtime as well. And you've got to remember, this is a journey. We've taken a long journey with KONE, and we love taking long journeys with our customers. And this was developed on 3G, remember that. So it wasn't, we didn't have 5G back then or anything like that. We didn't have the mobile towers. So we had to make it that it worked 100% offline with 3G, and really just didn't have the bandwidth. So,
yeah.
And that's...
The Safe at Work function is now written into our emergency response plan as well, so it's something that the builders are expecting from us to sort of present. We're in a unique scenario when we're inside the lift shaft. It's not something that's easily accessible for other people on the building site, or even emergency services may not be the specialist to get inside a lift shaft. So the fastest responder are normally those people that are out in our own business, and to get the alerts out to the 5 nearest people is it means that we could potentially save a life if something was to ever happen.
Thank you. Now we have some questions.
That's fascinating what you guys are doing. It's really interesting because it overlaps with one of the sessions we had yesterday around risk management and insurance. And on that point, I'm keen to understand the practical benefits for both KONE and PMA around the insurance side of it, insurance benefits, etc.
Well, as I mentioned before, when we have had, if there is a vehicle incident, and the ones that we've observed since having the system in place demonstrated that we weren't at fault, and I think that's very key to these type of situations. And even at first, I guess first thoughts of an incident or an accident occurring, that you don't have a lot of information to go on, and you're generally relying off the impacted people and parties and potentially a third-party witness. And now we effectively have that third-party witness in our trucks. It does not lie, it doesn't speak anything, it shows what actually happened, and can quite clearly exonerate potential claims. So it's certainly had an impact on that front.
Yeah, I can't comment too much on the insurance side of things. I'm not sure if that's been used in that scenario, but definitely for safety, and we've seen it used not even when an activity was in place or a time was set. There's a button in there that can trigger the alert directly and get a response from the safety manager or whoever's nominated in the tool to be the safety manager for that region. And that was used only weeks ago, and with the fastest response for the team, and yeah, it was well received.
You both have a long-term working relationship with Kynection. What are you looking forward to for additional sources of data or insights to continue the AI and big data evolution for KONE and PMA?
For KONE, I've literally written 4 pages of notes to come back with, so get ready, Mark. But yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days just to be here and see what everyone else is doing with their business as well. But I can see the AI helping with, especially our forms. I'm keen to explore the defect management side of things, and potentially using that to generate and automate reports straight out of the Kynection tool would be really interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely keen to explore the capacities of AI within the system. At the moment, we've looked to, I guess, replace end-to-end from job creation to invoicing through Kynection, and part of the struggle, I guess, is removal of paperwork. So we have consistent data capture and accuracy, which enables us to make gauge decisions from that data. I think previously we had data capture, but a lot of it was manually inputted or written on pieces of paper and then would have to be transferred across. So I think one of the things that certainly struggled in the first instances was the language in which the data spoke. So we had, depending on how people chose to write something, you wouldn't have a consistent data capture point. So now that we've developed those things, it certainly opens the door for AI to come in more so than it ever has before.
Taking the flip side of a very similar question, and to you, Mark, what's the difference in your role in working with a customer and the development cycle now that we're talking about AI and these sort of data analytics. How's it changed your job?
I guess it's trying to work to strengths. We've, not to kind of rock the boat, but we've tried to sell as the Kynection solution being the one-stop shop. Not having to have multiple SaaS licenses, but I guess for myself, today's realisation, well, yesterday's, is we can't do it all. We might be able to try our best to do as much as we physically can, but we still need the Trails, the Sages, the Acumaticas, everything to work to give the best outcome collaboratively with our clients. So even Focus, we can do our own dashboards, but we couldn't do anything to the level that a niche software provider would be able to give. So yeah, it'll help with our partnerships. I know it's a big focus of this whole event is to work with partnerships. And yeah, AI is just that branch that helps us all do it better.
Thank you. Questions from the audience?
Thanks, guys. So the main two things that I love the most about both PMA and KONE is that these two companies are helping us a lot grow and improve and make our service and our product better. My question for both of you guys is, what is one advice that you can each give new potential clients that want to join the Kynection family and start using KIM? What are some things that helped you with your change management and implementation and the onboarding of the product? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great consideration to have, and certainly throughout the journey of looked back in retrospect and looked at things that could have done slightly better in terms of a rollout. I think something we identified quite early on in the piece was it wasn't going to be a hard and fast rollout across the company. It was a staged approach, and basically it rolled out in a scalable version. In terms of the challenges on top of that is that we have a dispersed workforce, so training and remote support can be quite difficult in that situation, but the additional tools that we have in terms of being able to remote into mobile tablets from the office and provide that support to operators in the field, so it's not a massive burden to really have a bulk undertaking of training at once. A lot of the operators have learned on the job through that mobile type support. So I think that's something I could probably certainly suggest, is to leverage as much out of the current technology as what we've had. And we've actually started even using the guide program about a month ago to do out some guides and some quick walkthroughs to the operators and the staff to try and preempt questions that may be asked and explain processes thoroughly as well.
Yeah, I'm really keen to explore this guide functionality a little bit more as well. That will be good to introduce. The one for me is to make sure that the end user also sees some value in what we're implementing. So one of the use cases we have is what's called the knowledge base. So it makes it easier for them to find the information that they need to find. At KONE, being a global business, sometimes it's a bit complicated to find the right thing, so the knowledge base really helps with that. Another function that we had difficulty with before is getting information back from the field up to the people that can actually make a difference or change with that information. When it was, in the old days, it was go to your manager or your supervisor and they would escalate it through multiple channels to get to the right person. That kind of diluted the message a little bit. Whereas now with the Kynection tool, that they can get that directly from the source to the people that can make the change. So that's one of the benefits for the end user, and I think that would be my advice when implementing something like this, is to make sure the benefits are clear for them as well.
Marketplace issues with construction around that as
Yeah.
well?
Unions always present challenges to us that we have to overcome, I guess, and probably push us to next level, I guess. But reflecting back on it, normally it ends in a result or something that's pushed us to another level, and it's going to benefit us all or especially our technicians for safety and taking that to the next level. So that's good there. Another thing with them is their higher labour rates, which is often driven by the unions as well. So Kynection has sort of helped us to balance that as well. So the Safe at Work app we often get pressure to have 2 people here, 2 people there. With the safe at work and the lone worker function, we're allowed to sort of balance that requirement with the use of technology.
Are you seeing the unions wanting to adopt this technology for their benefit?
Yeah, it's been commented on as one of the best in class in our industry, and they've often referred to it as something that they'd like to see everyone using. So I know that other companies may have their own sort of ways of managing it, but for us, it's been good feedback.
Did you want to reply, Darren?
Look, I'd just say, just with the way that I think we've identified any gaps, we have a fairly robust process in terms of all of our safety, the way that our staff undertake works, and the implementation of Kynection on top of that has just enhanced that further in terms that we do meet legislative and regulator compliance. We do deal with a lot of regulated waste and work in a lot of high-risk areas. So I think it's just added an element on top of what systems we already had in place and the culture to just encourage a positive safety mindset within our organisation and culture.
Thank you. Look, thank you very much, Dane, Michael, Mark, Jono. It's really powerful to see this technology from a customer mindset, from a customer lens. We talk about it as operators of the software, but the implementation of the software is leading to actual practical examples that is, in this case, literally saving lives.